With me now is David Adams, President and CEO of the Global Automakers of Canada. Good afternoon, David. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
From your vantage point from this, how desperate are automakers and how desperately do they need this funding as the impact of tariffs really is starting, it feels like, to hit home from what we're hearing?
Well, you're right. I mean, it's been an issue of hope, I guess, that the tariff situation was going to be resolved sooner rather than later. And as it turns out, it looks like that tariffs are not going to go away anytime soon. So as a result, I think different manufacturers, each of the 5 manufacturers in Ontario, are in a slightly different position. But suffice it to say that the tariff situation continues to impact each one of those companies, and not only those companies, but also the supplier community that feeds into all of those facilities. Again, impacting each one of them slightly differently, but as more time goes on, it's going to be more and more challenging for these companies to be viable moving forward.
I know the announcement was just made today, and it's 3 very big sectors when we talk about aluminum and steel and automakers. Is there any indication at this point how much of this funding from the province is going to be allocated to automakers?
It's unclear to me at this time how much what the division will be between the 3 sectors, but it's it's fair enough to say that each of the sectors has been very hard hit, and I think we applaud the Ford government for moving this direction. The Premier and his cabinet have always been steadfast in their support of the automotive industry, because I think they have a clear understanding of how much the automotive industry means to the Ontario economy and the communities where these manufacturing facilities and again, the parts facilities around them, what they contribute to those communities. So appreciate the initiative, supplemented by what was already announced by the federal government. Hopefully we don't have to resort to using these funds, but I think it's useful for both those in the vehicle manufacturing sector and the parts manufacturing sectors to know that they exist and know that the province and the federal government have their back.
We've been talking about this for months, clearly. The Canadian and U.S. automakers and going back and forth, vehicles that go back and forth as they're built, that, it's so intertwined and it's so wrapped up in each other. This is support, clearly, as you mentioned, that is just there. Are you working, or are others working on something else in order to support Canadian automakers in particular right now? Or do we really just have to watch and hopefully that and you mentioned it, hope too, that this just gets better at some point in the future in order for it to, to have less pressure on the industry?
Yeah, it's been an ongoing challenge, and the uncertainty, I think, is the biggest thing for everybody involved, in that you don't know what sort of planning environment you're operating in, and the automotive industry has hugely long planning horizons. So to not be able to plan because you don't know what the environment is that you're working with is extremely frustrating for all automakers. I think in an ideal world, what the federal government is working towards, continues to work towards, is a situation that can hopefully get us back to where we were. As you noted, we're producing vehicles not for one another's market, but together for both markets. And that's been the way we produce vehicles here in Canada since the mid-1960s. So I would like to think that the U.S. understands that they're actually stronger and better off having a fully integrated automotive sector in North America. So our hope, again, would be that that wisdom becomes apparent to the president, and that we can get back to a situation where we can work collaboratively within the North American construct to take on larger challenges that exist around the world.
David Adams, President and CEO of the Global Automakers of Canada. Thank you, sir. Appreciate this.
Thank you.